Let's make an Arduino RFID lock using a servo motor. B-Monster Laboratory here. You may recall back in March I posted a video about a Arduino keyless door lock using a servo motor and the RFID module. Now from that video I got a couple of really good questions and I think the answers may be helpful. So I'll answer those two questions in two short videos. So if you recall that video back in March, the servo motor would unlock the lock, wait 5 seconds, and then lock it back. So this video will be a response to the first question, which was, well, how do I just unlock the lock without it relocking? Today we're going to manipulate the code a little bit. We'll use the same setup, and ultimately, you scan once, it'll unlock. If you want it to lock, you got to scan again. Now I think that's a better approach, and I think this will be useful for you, and I'll post the code on our Facebook page. Let's begin. I've got my lock prop here. I've got my servo motor, which is detached from the board. And the reason that happened is because I switched out my connectors here to something a little more flexible. And I went in and I changed the angle of my servo motor, you know, the number inside the parentheses in the code. And when I did that, at the time, the connector wasn't long enough, so the arm could not reach 180 degrees. And that overheated the motor, which I didn't notice. And as the servo motor heated up, it melted the glue and the whole thing just popped off. So if you're going to adjust the angular motion of your servo motor, either keep an eye on it or take this apart and not have it connected. Now I found that paper clips work really well for this, and if you bend the end just like this right here, it seems to work the best for me. Then you take your servo motor and you drill a hole just a little bit bigger than what you've already got in the shaft here to accommodate the tip of your paper clip. And you can slide that right in there. It fits really well. Twist it around and you can see you've got a nice secure connection that does bend and twist a little bit with the motion of the arm here. So I'm going to go ahead and hot glue this servo motor back in place here. As you can see, I have the same setup as I did in my previous video, and I have the correct ID and the wrong ID card here. If I scan the wrong ID card, the light blinks red. If I scan the correct ID card, it unlocks the door. I can scan it once with the correct ID badge, and it'll unlock, and I don't have to worry about it relocking. If I want it to relock, I scan it again. No delay. As you can see, I have 220 ohm resistors connected to the ground pins of the LEDs, and the LEDs are connected to pins 8 and 9. Over here I've got the servo motor, I've got the ground pin connected to ground, the positive pin or the VCC pin connected to 5 volt, and I have the data pin of the servo motor connected to pin 3. The green jumper here, pin 5, is RST pin on my RFID. RFID ground is connected to the ground pin of my microcontroller, and the 3.3 volt pin is connected to 3.3 volt on my board here. Don't connect it to 5. All the other pins for my RFID module are connected at pins 50 to 53, and I will include the schematic for the RFID module. So let's go ahead and take a look at the code and see what I did differently. If we take a look at the code, I can show you here what I've added to the previous code that I had in my original video from March. I came down here and I added an integer, position equals 0, and another one I called lock equals 4. I come down here to the loop and I added some if-else statements. This is the same as it was last time. Basically it says if the right tag is scanned, the green LED will blink on and off, and if the correct ID is scanned, the servo motor will start at 0 and go greater than 90 degrees. I've got it set for 180, so the output shaft will turn 180 degrees, and then down here it turns the lock, I called it lock, it'll turn the lock off So this code allows you to just scan it one time to unlock and then one time to lock without worrying about locking and unlocking as in the other video. And then of course down here, if you scan the wrong badge, the red light will blink and your access is denied. All the detailed information on this project is included in the original video, and again that link will be in the description below. Well, that's all I've got for today. If you did find this video helpful, be sure to like it by giving it a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to check out our Facebook page. I do my best to post all the code onto the Facebook page. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.